We're on.
Where George goes, we got a quorum anyway, then he'll be back. Okay. We're on? Okay.
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. All right. Let's see. This district engineer's report.
I think I've already given it.
I don't know, have you?
I told you,
You
I think I told you the full allocation.
The informed us that Robert was now 3 foot 11.699 inches, right?
That's it. He's not here either, so it's Pete's turn.
What about there's no construction going on in
We've got one project on the drain, but it's out in the middle drain here for a water line for PSP. But they're finished up. They're waiting for us to finish the season to do a bore.
it's next year's gonna shorten up all that stuff too. People are gonna have to be in and out in a lot harder.
Yes. They're well aware.
But we've never changed our November 15th, February 15th window. I mean, we come in after the fact and say, okay, we'll extend it.
Now they're
We
talking
don't
about
run the
you.
contract.
No, well, you don't really know.
Yeah, we don't really know, and then those people are used to that contract, it's in the contract, so even though we went through this long drought, we never changed the contract because we don't want to.
Because you don't want to change it. Okay, Pedro, you're on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, well, to start off with, all 10 well meters that we had bought have been installed on these wells. So now we're just gonna go ahead and wait on the approval, I guess, for the grant, for the additional 50. And then we'll go ahead and start installation on those.
Have we had any issue with them?
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah, how many you got, Rick?
Right now, none of them, but we have ran them.
But you have that, okay.
We have ran them and they were pretty good. They seem to be pretty accurate. I mean, it's just night and day from the ones we had before.
And the grant has been approved, but we're just waiting, it takes time for
Make sure, yeah.
paperwork.
Right now, one of the 4 capital projects that we had for the city of El Paso has been completed. We are just out there today, just doing the cleanup, and that's the one with Heritage Farms. So we're just out there sweeping and just kind of picking up after ourselves there. We are preparing to get started on the second one. I'm just waiting on El Paso Water to give me the green light on the other 4. This one here was kind of like an emergency, so we had to get it done ASAP. Right now, we have started hauling dirt to both the Franklin and the Riverside, trying to get ahead of the game here for those 2 large projects that we got coming up. So we are starting on those 2 projects as of this week. This here is a picture of the Tornillo Canal over by Alamualto. Every time we get these heavy rains, we run into this problem. And there's 2 major washouts of 2 arroyos that come down that they tear up the Tornillo pretty bad.
This goes back to the beginning of time, right? And this was a TxDOT decision in the 20s and carried through to today. It has been a problem forever.
Always.
Right.
So there's no siphons here, so these arroyos come down out of the hills and stop at the highway. And no culvert.
No, you missed that. They don't stop.
They don't, this is the continuation of the arroyo. So it's very unusual that they didn't provide at least some way to get it in a drain or get it to the river. Or to make it spread out over one of the Ivy's fields.
You saw that field, the border did not break this time, did you see that?
Well, we broke it up before, right?
You
So-
broke it.
But we don't have any
Yeah,
choice.
fortunately enough, this year, it just tore up the left bank of the Tornillo, where last year, it went all the way through the right bank.
And it sends all the sand to
Our neighbor over here.
To Danny, if he's there,
He said he'll take the sand.
No, it's farther down. Is it 5 hour? Whose land's that right there?
5 hour.
That's 5R right there. They got us surrounded down there.
Go next one, Jay.
The other place is in Hudspeth, down there on the Scopes property where that
Same thing.
same thing happened.
Go ahead. Here we're doing the repairs on the washout.
Yeah, it should be TxDOT.
Right.
Wow.
Should be textile, but if, it already been on textile, it'd still be
Yeah.
looking the same way.
That's, after tonight, that probably looked like it did before.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah,
You never know.
yeah, it's
It's a never-ending
it's
project.
a 1 hour to 1 year fix.
Yeah.
This next project here is a bridge that we're, a metering bridge that we're putting across the canal here. In order to get to Wasteway 3, right now, in order to get to this wasteway, we have to depend on Border Patrol to open the gates. And sometimes they'll show up and sometimes they won't. So in the event of an emergency, we're not gonna be able to get to these gates. So what we're doing is we're putting a pedestrian bridge to be able to get to these gates. That way we don't have to depend on Border Patrol anymore. You missed one?
I can't believe the boundary lets you do that.
Yeah, and you're gonna have your own lock on that gate?
That is now. That's our old lock here. This is where we're at right now. We're pouring the steps today.
Border Patrol?
This is where the bridge is gonna sit on. Of course, we did put rebar and we actually put rebar 6-inch centers on this one here. Here's the rebars going in.
You'll make it possible for all those guys from Honduras to go across.
Well, you got that of the gate on the other side, so.
I'm kidding.
I think we could charge a fee.
Just don't give them amnesty, whatever you do. Whatever you give them, don't give them amnesty.
Go ahead. Okay, this is the crossing there in
North
Heritage. All this was removed and
That's heritage, yeah.
this is Heritage, yes, sir.
So that didn't look like it had any rebar on it.
It does not. As soon as we removed the dirt behind it, that thing went in. We lost all the walls.
You have to put up a new.
No, that'll be on them.
Yeah, we
That'll be on
warned,
them.
yeah, we warned them about that.
It has the appearance that they used material from that was on the drain bank from,
Yes.
from
Leftover material.
leftover, yeah.
So what they were doing is they were going in here and every time they get a sinkhole, you can see right there on the left-hand side, they get a sinkhole, they go in there and throw dirt in there. Well, after a while, they started covering up the pipe inside and until Mr. Reyes told them to stop doing that, water started backing up and so it was something that had to be done pretty quick. We did go in there with a 72-inch pipe in there with a aluminized pipe that will be reimbursed by the city of El Paso, or El Paso Water, I'm sorry. There has been removed, water dropped approximately about 2 feet. And there's the new culvert installed already. We went from about a 14 or 20-foot crossing to an 80-foot crossing. So now they'll be able to go in there and install sidewalks and make it a little safer.
And that whole area there, since your equipment was there, you guys sure have cleaned it up good all along Upper Valley. Haven't seen that good in a long time. I guess while the equipment was there, you said, get after it down below.
The
Right.
we actually, Pete started beforehand.
Right, yeah, we started trying to get the water table or the water to drop before we actually went in there. And then, of course, that's also part of the maintenance program that we have with El Paso Water.
What's this thing over on the side?
Where's that?
Is it a mailbox?
Oh, it's mailbox.
Yeah, it's Bobas.
Boy, that's an antique.
And that little house in the middle, actually, it was a keypad, I guess, for the automatic gates to let you in and out of the gate.
But nobody
Yeah,
uses
yeah,
it, it's
yeah.
in this mailbox, right?
No,
You could come
it
out.
doesn't seem that.
Yeah, they got everything up there. And that was, never got permitted.
So again, we did go in there with a 72-inch, we removed a 50-inch that was there, and went with a 72. Some of the city drains before and after pictures. This is all right below Medicas by
Didn't
yeah, by Benagui.
Somebody was dumping household trash.
Boy, look at that.
And here we got a crossing that, I need to see who's gonna pay for that crossing, because that crossing's gonna have to get replaced, the one here. There's actually a water line that crosses through there, which I do not think is licensed, but there is a water line that goes through there for Las Placitas. That's the only purpose that culvert's got.
Yeah, we can get it replaced with a boring. Get it licensed. and-
Is that Lower Valley?
No, I think it's private line, I think it belongs to Ben.
Oh, is that on the bin I need to get?
Yes. Yes.
And we'll
I don't
just,
recognize
so
it.
they don't need that, we'll just take it out and have them replace it with, boring's pretty cheap.
Where is that?
That's right there by his shop, right down the left.
Probably just a 2-inch, you think, or?
All those big
Like
houses
house
over
shop.
here.
Shop.
Yeah.
What shop, yeah.
Yeah, the mechanic shop you got there?
Out here?
No, he's
No,
talking about
no,
bin, I
no.
got Luke three
Route
seventy-five,
75. Yes.
but I don't recognize that, I don't know what I'm looking at.
By the shop,
That's where the shop is.
by the shop part.
So
We're at the shop by the
By the nursing
Oh,
home.
behind all the fancy houses?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're going to
that's,
the nursing
that's,
home.
That's where Dennis
that's right
parks
there.
all of his stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a different place there.
This is up here by Saragossa. And this is all the mesa drain as we go
Wow.
further like towards town. This is over by Holmsley Trail.
What was that little roadway there on the left on that last slide? Is that-
Actually,
Did
this,
they, you built that in?
City.
no, that's, yeah, that's a ramp to get into the
You
drain.
built it that way? Yeah.
The
that's
city,
pretty
the city
neat.
did
Sold
that.
it, city. We did.
Yeah,
Okay.
so some guys from Mexico.
I hadn't heard or even thought about it in years.
That I think is actually tricky.
Wow.
Why is there water there?
From the
There's,
main.
yeah, there's areas in the
The
mesa
water
that
that comes
got-
down off of Lee Trevino, right?
That'll dry up in a minute.
The Great All's been, come in very handy with that mulcher that we put and that mower that we put on. On it, it's, they will get these areas that the mower can't get into. It is over by Styles, where the mesa drain actually, begins. It's right behind the Carolina area.
Yeah, it looks nice. The drain looks nice.
So right now, we're getting started on, some of our prep work for the major projects, and of course, we'll continue with the, drain program. And some of our capital projects for the El Paso water. That's all I have. Any questions?
It's big pipes over there, I was telling Jay, on Gomez Road, is that, you said the city doing that?
It's ours.
There.
It's ours. We,
Tear
we're,
Gomez Road apart, put that in there?
yes. Yeah, that's part of, the capital. That's our next area that we'll
Do they
be
go
targeting.
down, do they go downstream a little further too? 'Cause
We're gonna replace, Gomez. We're gonna replace the one
next.
further upstream, back towards, Parkcraft. There's two more that we're gonna replace towards Parkcraft that we need to upsize before we go downstream.
Because the next one down, it's like as wide as this. People fall down in there like a.
Downstream from Gomez, I'll take a look at it.
Downstream, that one.
I'll take a look at it.
The concrete gives it goes over it, but right there is where.
Right now, the issue we're having is, they're wanting to see if they're gonna be able to fund the private ditches that go over the top. And like I told the city, or El Paso Water, I go, I can't replace the bottom pipe without replacing the one over the top. But we both gotta be replaced. So that's where we're at right now, but we're trying to get ahead of the game and move pipe wherever we're gonna need it to get ready for it.
Okay, Pete, keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, Roberto, you're back to being almost 4 foot Robert.
Yeah.
3.9999 Robert.
Almost.
I really don't have a lot, we're fixing to wrap it up and just closing it off, and some of these people still wanna plant alfalfa, they wanna leave the release on for a couple of days, but like I told them, it's not gonna happen. And with this weather that we've been having, the usage has been very low, and being with the small tracks, we've had to keep the system sort of primed up because we need that extra water for the small tracks. But as of today, we started bringing it down because of the rain last night. Even I was surprised Chewy water last night, but he still enjoyed it.
But
With the heavy rain.
You gotta leach all those salts from that well that he used.
But all considered, yeah, we're looking at probably, this morning we were releasing 600. This morning I already went ahead and brought it down to 500. Tomorrow we'll bring it down to 400, and Friday we'll bring it down just to 200 for the Mesilla Dam, and then Saturday morning, we'll just shut it off completely, and then the drop will hit Mesilla Sunday morning, and according to how the discharge is doing up there, and then we'll cut it off around 10 or 11, and then he plays it out, so we should wrap, everything wrapped up there by Sunday night, and then down here we'll still have good return flow, and water till about Wednesday, and then we'll start playing out from there, and then just give it another 2 months, but I think with this rain, it pretty well killed all the people that still wanted water for pecan. I don't see nobody wanting water no more. No mas?
Oh, wow.
It's a hard decision, but I think we're gonna.
Your neighbor still likes the water, but.
Yeah, I know, I saw that, but I think we're gonna.
So we got the last part of the irrigation with small tracks this weekend, and then we'll probably wrap it up. But like Al was talking earlier on the water, I kinda always keep a budget as to how much water we use per month. And I figured toward the end, when we finally get it done, until Al gets it done, but I got mine kinda on the high side. We'll end up using about 140,000. We'll end up carrying somewhere like 255,000. So out of that 254, we're gonna have to give up like 25 or 20 at least to our neighbors.
We haven't done the final allocation.
I know,
so it'll
but
be
mine's
more.
on the high side.
Oh, it is, okay.
They're on the high side also. I didn't credit no,
There isn't that much more to allocate.
yeah, so.
I mean, there's a lot of water, it's just the procedure to cap it, which we want. You can-
So
There's another little
we're gonna take our 232 plus
little
over.
issue I gotta talk about in closed session, it's part of the litigation, that may require us to transfer more.
You know, Al, let me just mention, there's a guy parking an SUV on the Montoya Drain.
It ain't me.
He's from Mexico,
You have an issue?
and he is parking on the right of way and selling out of it every day. Mennonite cheese and I
That's
don't know
good
what
cheese.
else.
Yeah.
That's
And I just mentioned to him,
Yeah.
there's a guy, you know, he's a trespasser, and he endangers himself and other people who stop him. They pull on to the Montoya there to shop
Oh,
with
by
him.
the country club?
Yeah.
Is that by the circle?
It's where you, yeah, it's a turnaround.
Entrance to the country.
Exactly,
Yeah,
that's where he is, exactly.
But that's,
Not my department.
that's more New
Well, I do like
Mexico
to
right
see-
there.
No, it's Texas, but, yeah, there's a couple of people that set up there over the weekends and stuff.
They even, if you notice, a lot of people even put cars up there. but
Yeah, for sale.
Trying to patrol them all.
Oh, I know.
I think we have signs, yeah,
Yeah,
so we're protected.
that's where,
All I'm saying is this guy's on our right of way, and he's selling products, and so he attracts people driving down Country Club Road to pull over onto our right of way. And it's a dangerous thing for him to be there.
Well, that would be
Yeah, he should
a
be.
sheriff or the police department, right?
Yeah.
I call the sheriff, next time you see it, I call the police,
Okay, I will.
that's what we do.
And
And I-
park in the middle of the.
I won't go buy cheese from them, I promise. It's dangerous, won't encourage it.
Alright.
But that's it for me, it's just the season's over and it looks like next year will be a very busy year,
Well,
plenty of water.
no vacation next year, you're gonna have to go back to work, Robert.
I guess so.
Yeah, like.
Great,
It
great
was a
job.
full year
managing
this
it.
year, it seemed like, for only 6 months,
How,
right?
how many acres of cotton do you think you ended up?
I'm thinking if we got lucky, we got 5, but I don't think
Not 5,000.
Wow.
There's hardly any,
there's hardly
Wow.
any, because the return flow, they didn't hardly any. And some of the guys, they pumped some of it, but there's not that much time.
No, there's not very much, I just wondered how many by your orders.
I think
Well,
the
good
gym's
job.
gonna have a race. Slow
Like
cruising.
yeah.
And then Johnny, seeing that cotton out there right now with this rain, it's been,
Oh, yeah, it's the worst time of year to get rain on the cotton right now, so.
Yeah, production's up in Del City, so we'll get a little bit extra from there. I'm sure that's where they haul it here, right? They don't, they go to Texas, to.
No, they go to Carlsbad, I think.
Go to Carlsbad.
FEMA here looks really good too, until these rains. And
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
It'll be strung out like. Thank Thank you, Robert, doing a good job as always.
Thanks.
You and Pete are tremendous team.
We always have to fight, but we get through it.
That's right, you're a good team because you fight amongst yourself. Thanks again, Robert.
Thanks.
All right. We don't have to worry about water delivery. Which subdivision plats, Jake?
Everything is licensed.
No, I was gonna request to take all these to closed session as well.
All of them in closed session?
Yes, please.
Boy, they must be serious.
No, it's, a couple of them aren't. already.
The application,
Yes, that's correct. Everything
we have to take those closed session, or that part and parcel?
We can start parking them out, we just thought it'd be easier, there's so much of it that needed being closed, there's somebody, everything.
Let's go in closed session, that's what I said, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what you said.
All right, let's go into closed session at 10:16.